Hello and welcome to Work Week, the podcast where we tackle one big question about the rapidly evolving workplace, explore what the research says about the issue, and explain what it all means for you. I'm Dr. Gabby Burlacu, Senior Manager at the Upwork Research Institute, and what you're hearing are my words brought to life by a digital proxy of my voice, created by our team with the help of AI. Today's episode is the finale of our first season of Work Week, and it's an important one. Organizations across industries are working to adapt their workforce strategies for 2026, balancing shifting market dynamics, technological disruption, and evolving talent expectations. In a climate where agility is key, the right data can offer a powerful edge. But with so much information available, many leaders and workers may be wondering what's really happening in the labor market and which data points actually matter when planning for the coming year. The big question we'll address this week is, which hiring reports can inform strategic workforce planning in 2026? If your workforce strategy is primarily built on the latest labor market headlines, you may be missing the deeper signals that can give you a competitive edge. And if you're relying on a single source or only tracking traditional employment data, you're seeing just a small part of the larger picture. So today's episode is your cheat sheet to better informed workforce planning. Learn about some of the most commonly referenced hiring reports that shape how leaders and workers think about the job market. Also discover a source of data that's been missing from the conversation, one that more accurately reflects how work will get done in 2026. Let's start with three of the most widely referenced labor market reports: the Bureau of Labor Statistics Jobs Report, the JOLTS, and the ADP National Employment Report. Keep in mind, while these are among the most commonly cited, they're not the only sources available. Countless job and labor market reports are published each month by think tanks, research firms, platforms, and staffing companies. Depending on your industry or workforce model, you may find that including these in your 2026 workforce strategy will mean you're working with a more comprehensive dataset. But of all the sources available, the BLS Jobs Report is the most well-known. It's typically released on the first Friday of each month and tracks core indicators like job creation, the unemployment rate, and changes in average hourly or weekly earnings. These metrics serve as a baseline for understanding the overall direction of the U.S. job market. For example, if job creation slows or unemployment ticks up, this may suggest an upcoming pause in hiring across sectors, a data point that could influence how aggressively a company invests in recruiting or hiring. On the other hand, strong job gains and rising wages may indicate a tightening labor market, and your workforce strategy may shift to focus on retaining skilled workers and offering new candidates more competitive compensation packages. But while the BLS Jobs Report gives a valuable snapshot of national employment conditions, it doesn't provide much granularity when it comes to how people are moving in and out of jobs, or why. That's where the JOLTS report comes in. Short for Job Openings and Labor Turnover Survey, this report is often viewed as a companion to the main BLS Jobs Report and adds complementary data about labor market dynamics. The JOLTS tracks metrics like job openings, hires, quits, and separations. For talent professionals, a rising quit rate, for example, may be seen as a sign of worker confidence, suggesting that employees feel secure enough to leave one role in pursuit of another, possibly with higher pay, more flexibility, or better alignment with personal values. This type of data can be especially helpful when thinking about retention strategies. If quit rates are high in your industry or region, it could signal the need to revisit internal mobility programs, manager development, or total rewards packages. The JOLTS also shows how quickly companies are filling open roles. If job openings are increasing but hires remain flat, this could indicate a skills gap, a mismatch in expectations, or even a slowdown in recruiter activity. For organizations that need to plan workforce pipelines several months in advance, these are critical indicators. It's important to note that the BLS Jobs Report and the JOLTS were disrupted in the fall of 2025 during the federal government shutdown. This led to temporary reporting gaps and delays at a critical time when many companies were making end-of-year decisions and laying the groundwork for 2026 workforce plans. For many leaders, the gap in available data served as a clear reminder that no single source, no matter how foundational, is sufficient on its own to support an agile, forward-looking workforce strategy. Moving beyond government reports, another well-known and widely referenced labor market report is the ADP National Employment Report. ADP is a private company that manages payroll for more than 25 million U.S. workers. The company's monthly employment report is based on anonymized payroll data collected directly from ADP systems. This makes the report one of the few sources of real-time hiring data that isn't dependent on survey participation or subject to federal reporting delays. What makes ADP data especially relevant to workforce planning is the way the report breaks down job creation by company size, small, medium, and large businesses, and by industry sector. This can help talent leaders understand whether mid-sized tech companies are growing while larger firms are contracting, or whether small businesses in sectors like retail, healthcare, or logistics are driving more job creation. These insights can inform key decisions such as competitive positioning, recruiting investments, and where to source talent in the months ahead. For example, if the data shows that small businesses and professional services are hiring aggressively, it could be a sign of renewed demand for consulting, marketing, or legal services. Valuable context for firms operating in adjacent markets. So, when taken together, the jobs report for macro trends, the JOLTS for movement and motivation, and ADP for near real-time hiring behavior, these three reports offer a strong foundation for understanding the U.S. labor market. However, all three focus on the same segment of the workforce, full-time W-2 employees, and this is where they fall short. Today, a growing share of the workforce operates outside of that traditional model. According to the Upwork Research Institute's 2025 Future Workforce Index, 28% of skilled knowledge workers are now working independently, whether as freelancers, consultants, or project-based professionals. Additionally, freelancers collectively earned $1.5 trillion in 2024, often out-earning their counterparts who hold traditional full-time roles. Freelancers aren't counted in traditional payroll data or tracked by the unemployment rate, but they are doing critical work and earning significant wages across nearly every industry. And the demand for their services, whether in technical, creative, or administrative domains, signals something critical about how organizational strategies are evolving. This is a more comprehensive view of the labor market than simply tracking full-time headcount growth or decline. To close this gap in critical employment data, the Upwork Research Institute developed the Upwork Monthly Hiring Report. This new report offers a real-time view into how businesses are hiring independent professionals and building more flexible teams. The report draws from more than 1 million job postings annually on the Upwork platform and is paired with a monthly Business Pulse survey to capture emerging hiring trends. The goal of the report is to provide an early signal of broader shifts, especially those missed by traditional labor reports, and give both leaders and workers the insight they need to plan ahead. And over the past few months, this is exactly what the report has done. Our inaugural report found that companies are increasingly turning to freelancers for high-value work and to address advanced skill gaps. 1 in 4 business leaders in August 2025 reported hiring independent professionals specifically for high-value technical work. Demand that month rose for AI and machine learning talent, and creative fields like video production also saw increased hiring. But the report found that freelance hiring wasn't only about technical skills. Roles that support human-AI collaboration, like writing, content editing, language tutoring, and fact-checking, also saw significant growth. These are areas where AI can assist, but human judgment remains essential. Our September monthly hiring report revealed another trend. Businesses are turning to freelancers to address AI slop. As we highlighted in episode 33 of Workweek, AI slop is an output generated by artificial intelligence that looks fine on the surface, but that is fundamentally flawed. Upwork platform data from September showed that demand for translation, copywriting, quality assurance testing, and project management roles increased as leaders look to correct and refine AI-generated outputs. Companies aren't only testing new tools, they're investing in skilled freelancers to make AI tools more effective while maintaining quality and productivity. Our October monthly hiring report showed a major shift in mindset. For the first time in 2025, more business leaders said they plan to hire independent talent than full-time employees.